If you have $100,000 invested, do this to reach $1 million. If you already have $100,000 invested, you've done something most people struggle to do. But here's the uncomfortable question. What if the hardest part isn't getting to $100,000, but knowing what to do after you get there? Imagine someone in their early 30s living in Chicago, London, Berlin, or Amsterdam. They earn a decent salary, maybe $85,000 a year before tax. After taxes, health insurance, and other deductions, they might have around $5,000 a month available. Then life starts taking its share. Rent or a mortgage, $1,800. Car payment and insurance, $600. Groceries and utilities, $700. Student loans, credit cards, subscriptions, restaurants, and everything else, another $1,000. Suddenly that $5,000 doesn't feel like much, but this person has managed to build something important. They have $100,000 invested. And this is where a surprisingly common mistake begins. They start thinking about the next investment, the next stock, the next ETF, the next opportunity that could somehow make their money grow faster. But once you have $100,000 invested, the most important variable usually isn't finding a magical investment. It's what you consistently do with the money you already have. Let's make the math simple. Suppose your $100,000 portfolio earns an average 8% per year over the long term. At 8%, $100,000 becomes roughly $216,000 after 10 years without adding another dollar. After 20 years, it's around $466,000. And after about 30 years, it approaches $1 million. That's the power of compounding. But there's another side to this. Imagine you add just $1,000 a month. At the same hypothetical 8% annual return, your $100,000 could grow to roughly $1 million in around 18 years. Not because you found the perfect stock, not because you doubled your money every year, simply because the initial capital was large enough for compounding to become meaningful, while regular contributions continued feeding it. And this reveals something important about wealth building. The first $100,000 and the next $900,000 are psychologically different. When your portfolio is $10,000, a 10% return gives you $1,000. When it's $100,000, the same 10% return gives you $10,000. Your money is finally starting to generate amounts that can rival months of your salary. Yet many people respond to this stage by doing the opposite of what would help. They increase their lifestyle. A promotion arrives, the salary goes from $85,000 to $100,000. The apartment gets upgraded, the car gets more expensive, restaurant spending becomes normal, a few more subscriptions appear, and because each individual upgrade seems reasonable, the person doesn't feel like they're spending excessively. But collectively, their savings rate barely changes. This is lifestyle inflation, and psychologically, it makes sense. Humans adapt quickly. A purchase that feels special today can become normal 6 months from now. The problem isn't buying nice things. The problem is allowing every increase in income to become an increase in permanent expenses, because permanent expenses are difficult to reverse. Let's say your income rises by $1,000 a month after tax. You could spend the entire amount, or you could allow yourself an extra $300 and invest the remaining $700. That $700 doesn't look impressive today, but over 20 years, assuming an 8% average annual return, those monthly investments could grow to roughly $412,000. That's the part people often underestimate. Small decisions don't stay small when they're repeated for decades. And financially intelligent people tend to think differently about this stage. They don't necessarily try to eliminate spending. Instead, they separate temporary enjoyment from permanent lifestyle commitments. They understand that a $500 dinner is a one-time expense. A permanently higher monthly car payment is different. A vacation is temporary. A larger mortgage can follow you for decades. A new phone is one purchase. A lifestyle built around constantly upgrading everything becomes a system. And systems are what determine where your money eventually goes. This is also why reaching $1 million isn't necessarily about becoming dramatically richer every year. It's often about reaching a point where your existing capital becomes large enough that time starts doing more of the work. Consider two people. Person A earns more, but spends nearly everything they earn. Person B earns a similar amount but consistently invests a meaningful portion of their income and avoids turning every raise into a permanent expense. After several decades, the difference can become enormous, not because Person B discovered a secret, but because they gave their money three things: time, consistency, and room to compound. And there's another psychological trap here. Once someone reaches $100,000, they may start watching their portfolio constantly. If the market falls 15%, they panic. If a particular stock rises 40%, they want to chase it. Their attention shifts from the long-term system to short-term movement. But a portfolio designed for a multi-decade goal doesn't need to win every week, every month, or even every year. The objective is much simpler. Keep investing, keep costs reasonable, avoid unnecessary financial damage, and give the portfolio enough time to work. There is no guarantee that an 8% return will actually happen. Markets fluctuate, taxes and fees matter, and the future will not perfectly resemble historical averages. But the broader principle remains. Once you have $100,000 invested, protecting your ability to keep investing can matter more than constantly searching for something better. The million-dollar milestone isn't created by one brilliant decision. It's usually the result of thousands of ordinary decisions that were repeated for a very long time. So if you already have $100,000 invested, don't automatically ask, what can make this grow faster? A better question might be, what can I do to avoid interrupting the process? Because at this stage, your biggest advantage may not be intelligence. It may simply be the fact that your money has finally become large enough for time to matter. If you found this useful, consider subscribing for more calm, practical finance breakdowns.